Caloris Houston, happy birthday. What are your thoughts on Thomas Sowell and how slavery is viewed in the U.S.? Thomas Sowell writes a lot of words to not actually say anything. I had a friend he was like, you have to read all this stuff. You have to read all this stuff. So I read his stuff. And the hypotheses he presents in his works are often wrong. So like, his claim, his overarching claim via race relations in the United States is that former enslaved people learn their behaviorisms from their slave masters, and that when the diaspora happened, and they moved north, they moved elsewhere, that they carried with them the behaviors they learned from their masters, and that propagated throughout the generations, and that's why Black Americans today are less successful on average than everyone else. That's bullshit. Why? Because the former slave owners are doing just fine. So they learn the behavior from them. Then why are the former slave owners, who were, let's face it, an aristocracy, the aristocrats, why are they doing just fine? Maybe that has nothing to do with it. He also talks about how, there's no minimum wage in Switzerland and they do just fine. And yet, yeah, there's no national minimum wage in Switzerland, but you go to the cantons in Switzerland, like the individual cantons, which are kind of like counties or states, they have minimum wages of like $25 an hour US. So Graubünden, which is where my friends live, where I go every once in a while, their minimum wage is 25 Swiss francs, which is over $25 an hour. So yeah, the nation of Switzerland doesn't have minimum wage, but the individual cantons do, and everyone has a high standard of living. So, I don't know. I've got, which one of his? I've got over here the rednecks and black rednecks and white liberals. This is like his treatise on race relations in the U.S. and it's just not good. Cat, what are you doing? Leave it alone, Cat. I don't know. I think Thomas Sowell, his entire gimmick is that he writes things that people who are kind of racist go, oh yeah, because a black guy wrote it, excellent. And then they call him an intellectual. And then people who are scholars, who are equally as talented and have just as many credentials, just pick his works apart. I have seldom seen books get so thoroughly dismantled in book reviews. Like you read like the New York Times review of books, things like that. There'll be someone in there who's like, okay, I'm gonna have to write this 40-page book review because there's so much wrong with what he wrote. Then we're just gonna pull these pieces apart and take all that out. So I don't know. I just not impressed with Thomas Sowell. Like even his expertise in economics and even his stuff in economics is poorly researched. For example, his claims that successful nations don't have minimum wages. I mean, go to Denmark, the minimum wage is $23 an hour. The price of a McDonald's hamburger is the same in Denmark as it is in the United States. But in Denmark, they're making $26 an hour. They've got 4 weeks paid vacation. They've got like a year of maternity leave. They've got healthcare, college paid for, right? People are like, oh, taxes are so much higher in Denmark. Well, if you take our taxes and then you include healthcare to that, because the healthcare is included in Denmark, we pay more. We pay like 10% more of our income than anyone in Denmark, and we get way less services. We have terrible healthcare. We don't have free buses. We don't have free college. We've got, almost no safety net compared to them. So what are we getting out of it? Not as much, that's for sure. Okay. Keller Russ, thank you for your rant on Thomas Sowell. Always a pleasure picking your brain on topics. Yeah. Just, like, I don't know if I can read his stuff. Like, I read 3 of his books, and that might be more than I like reading things and learning stuff. I like reading things and being entertained. I don't like reading things and getting infuriated because, you know, the data that are being used is taken out of context or misrepresents the point they're trying to make, or like that stuff. Just I'd rather read and be happy after what I read.